So let's look at it. In fact, I've explained it in the daily test, but let's go ahead and complete this. So the country's courts are the final arbiters of when a restriction on free speech is warranted, but in a technical sense. Dash, we have to choose one of these options. With citizens actively defending free speech, even of the kind they disagree with, that will give substance to this and other fundamental rights. Okay, so what you need to look for is clue phrases and clue words, obviously, which will help you choose the right option, right? So some of the clue phrases quickly before we look at the options. We're talking about when there is a restriction on free speech, right, is warranted, but in a technical sense, and then we need a context. So if you look at the following context, it says with citizens actively defending free speech, which means they're saying, hey, we have the right to say what we want to say or to say our opinion, right? Even of the kind they disagree with. So just because I say something and even if you disagree with it, it's still okay because I have the right to say it, right? So that will give substance to this and other fundamental rights. So what are they talking about here? Freedom of speech, all of that, right? Now let's look at options. Option 1 is in fact redundant. I mean, it's a repeat of the context that is following the blank, so you can quickly eliminate it. Others have come out against violent suppression of free speech. Let's keep that. The context is not talking about the following context at least, right? It's saying the court of a particular country are the final arbiters. Arbiters means what? Anybody? If there are any words that you don't follow or is kind of stopping you from understanding the context, you need to figure that out. An arbitrator, basically like a judge, right? So they are the final, the court is the final judge of when a restriction of free speech is warranted. So when should I bring in some sort of a restriction to free speech? Who decides that? The court, not you or me. But again, it's saying in a technical sense. So option 2, others have come out against violent suppression of free speech, doesn't make logical sense because the first sentence is not saying that the court is violently restricting or anything. It's just saying the court is the final judge to decide whether you can say this or not say this, right? And bring you to task. Third one, it is a lived practice of democracy with citizens actively defending free speech, even of the kind they disagree with. So the following sentence after the blank is actually the definition of democracy, right? That will give substance to this and other fundamental rights. Option 4, that would only be an invitation for people with citizens actively defending free speech, even of the kind they disagree with, again is not making logical sense. So the answer is option 3, right? The idea for these sort of questions, which was at least I think you had 4 questions of this type in last week's daily test, right? So, and we've covered this also, how to look at context like this, right? Pay attention to clue words, clue phrases, understand what the context is talking about, then it makes more sense. And just to let you know, see, all these new pattern questions that we've been discussing, they may or may not come in the exam. Yes, mixed bag, right? They may or may not come, at least for SBI PO prelims. I don't know. If it comes, you know what to do. But I have a feeling it might just reflect back on our usual questions, right, which is jumble sentence, reading comprehension, close passage, fill in the blanks, double blanks, and finding errors. If at all you are faced with these surprise questions, yes, you know what to do. That's the reason why we are including this as much as we can. Yes, they will come in mains. That's what happened last year, right? 2016 we were surprised.